Why did chess notation change to algebraic? Imagine trying to explain a move in chess to someone across the world and using words like pawn to king 4. It sounds simple, but it can get confusing fast. That's why chess notation needed a better system. Over time, the way players recorded moves evolved from descriptive words to a more precise method called algebraic notation. This change happened because algebraic notation makes it easier to understand and share moves, no matter where you are or what language you speak. In the early days, descriptive notation was popular. It described moves relative to each player's side, like pawn to king 4. But this could be confusing because the same move might be called differently depending on who was playing. For example, moving a pawn to the fourth square in front of the king could be called king's pawn to for 4 white and queen's pawn to for 4 black. This meant that the same move could have different names, making it hard to follow or analyze. Then, in the 18th century, Philip Stamma introduced a new way to write down moves using fixed coordinates. He started labeling the columns of the chessboard from the left to the right with the letters A through H. The rows, or ranks, were numbered from 1 to 8 starting from white side. So, each square on the board had a unique name, like E4 or D5. This system was simple and clear, so it was easier to record and understand moves. By the 19th century, this method was used more widely in Europe, especially in Germany and Russia. But in English-speaking countries, players still used descriptive notation for a long time. It was not until the 1980s that the international chess community, led by the World Chess Federation, officially adopted algebraic notation as the standard. They saw that it was shorter, less confusing, and better suited for computer use. One big reason for the switch was standardization. With algebraic notation, everyone uses the same system, so there's no confusion in tournaments or books. It also saves space because moves are written more compactly. For example, moving a pawn to E4 is just E4 instead of a long phrase. This makes recording and analyzing games much easier. Another reason is clarity. Descriptive notation can be ambiguous, especially when describing moves from different perspectives. Algebraic notation is fixed and universal, so it's always the same no matter who is playing or where. Plus, computers and chess software need a consistent way to read and process moves, and algebraic notation fits perfectly with that. So, the shift to algebraic notation was driven by the need for a clear, quick, and universal way to write down chess moves. It makes learning, sharing, and analyzing chess much smoother. This change aligns perfectly with the basic rules and actions of chess, giving players a straightforward way to describe every move from a standard point of view.